All right. Team Cop starts now, I suppose. I was thinking earlier, it's so cold I should probably be drinking malt beer. It's kind of counterproductive to drink a cold beer. All right, what do we have on the test bench? This is not the. It looks pretty, but it's not the best camera angle ever to actually show the system. So it is. I'll put the rig in here as well. Nothing too fancy. Got my trusty old Country Cup. My levels are. I'll try to speak softly. Got my Country Cup 2017 edition. What is it? It's actually a Gigabyte 1050 Ti, I believe, that didn't end up getting used for that infamous Time Spy low end 1000 series stage that the US won with the help of some Splave and some Miller mods and things. It was a fun stage, but it still got the Volt mods on there. But yeah, it didn't end up getting used because that card, that SKU more like it, came with like 8 pins as well, so the 8 pin cards were better. But then obviously the way to do it was with a mod, like a power board. Then I've got my pretty average, let's say, G-Skill 3600 bin. Is it C15 or something? A2 B-die, which, fingers crossed, will actually be replaced pretty soon, because I get into that later. That's a whole other story. But there's another kit that will supersede them, and I might sell them or just have them as a backup kit. Because I'm finding I do still have the Galax A0, which for the purposes of A0 single rank are extremely good. But in this board, for example, only one stick will post for some reason. So this is not like my general purpose. I don't have dual rank, that's still expensive in Australia. So this is like my general purpose kit right now. But if something happens that I'll talk about later, then it won't be anymore. This is just like a stopgap measure. And the Noctua with some GD900 under there. Hey, White Shark, how are you doing? And the Crosshair, which is my AM4 board. And inside the system, we have a 2700X, which it really feels in my mind like I haven't benched this in a long ass time. This is gonna be really retro. And maybe to okay, let's have a run through Team Cup. I know we've kind of gone through this on the last joint stream with Tech Tested, but I'll just sort of do a quick rundown of what I'm specifically planning to do. Like the stream with Tech Tested was more, do you like the stages and that kind of thing, and what hardware is optimal. But I'm now going to actually talk about maybe not every single thing I'm going to be benching. Like maybe there's just some stuff that, but I'll just have a quick run through it. There's not that many stages. So AM2 only. I remember this change being a stage being different. I mean, props for Cinebench 11.5, which doesn't get enough anything really. It doesn't get enough points, recognition, whatever you want to call it. Like it doesn't get enough of anything. So there's that. But AM2 only. This stage must have been changed. So this is like, there were single cores on AM2, so those are obviously out. You want dual cores. No SMT obviously back then. So it's like 6400 plus, 6000 plus. Yes, this is pre-testing. I'll come back to the rig. I'll just go through the comp first. So 3 subs in pretty much every stage except dogpile is what I remember. It feels a long time ago. I just had two holidays. My mind is a bit hazy. That's not to say that my mind isn't like hazy in general anyway, but you know, especially now. Um, yeah, so 64. I'm curious. I'm gonna open up the OCN spreadsheet. Obviously not on stream, but I'm gonna have a little look what's actually even listed there, because I guess 5600 plus would be the third chip. Yeah, but that third position, I mean, not that I'm the world's greatest AM2 bencher, but I get the feeling that the 6400 plus and 6000 plus are just so much easier to get good bins of than anything else on AM2. So those two are like super locked in. They're also like more available on the used market. So it's just like those two are just locked. But then the 5600 plus, I mean, if you found a really good like 5200 or 4800, I feel like that would be a good third score. But no sort of immediate plans to run that stage. I think that the likes of Tag and Shaggy have probably better chips here. Triple core is 7-zip because it's globals and everything. Yeah, I'll throw something in here, and I'm this is sort of similar to the previous stage where higher availability is such that a lot of people have 555 black editions. And what would be the second most popular SKU? Maybe even 570s. But then the prevalence of 560s and 565s in the market seems like quite low, which I have good bins of. So I'll probably be running cold, obviously, a 560 or 565, whatever I have the better of. I don't remember. And here we are. This is the topic of today. Is so. What have we got? We've got 3 subs, AM4 only, GPU Pi 3.21B, Pro CPUs are allowed, and it's Summit and Pinnacle Ridge, which last I checked, I mean the topic of the stream is Pinnacle, right? So like I assume 2700X is what Pinnacle Ridge is. Yeah, so Summit Ridge was Zen 1, and then this is Zen Plus, which is Pinnacle Ridge. So it being a multi-threaded bench, you're obviously talking 3 8-core subs. If you want to go really try hard, you do 2700X, which is what I'm pre-testing today, 2700 non-X, and then there was a Pro SKU as well, right? Something along those lines. Yeah, a Pro 2700X. But that might be hard. I don't know what the AliExpress type availability is like on these. So the close, I mean, Zen Plus did get better IPC and GPU Pi. It's not a small difference, but the kind of stopgap, let's fill a stage type scenario would be replace the Pro SKU with an 1800X. They clock pretty well. La di da di da. Okay, so I'm obviously benching that. So Geekbench 3 multi, AM4, AM5. I might actually just stop after the AMD sub comp. I'm not, outside of this I'm not doing very much anyway, so there's no big point in rehashing that. But let's have another look here. So here AM5 is allowed. Okay, so obviously every core count 6 and above will be AM5. I mean, I don't even have to assume at this point. I just know that like 9000 series is out, so that means since there was only one gen before that on AM5, you're talking 2700X for the 6 core, what am I talking about? 7600X for the 6 core, 7800X is the 8 core, and then 12 core is the 7900X. So those are just like, I mean, the non-X SKUs might clock fine, but you know, that's basically it. They've forbidden the 3D cache models. I don't. They do score higher, that's true, for the memory test. So, okay. And then obviously 2 and 4 core don't exist on AIM-5, so that's, I guess, I mean, the 2 cores, they're all pretty close to each other. There's the 200G, the 220G, the 300G, and the 320G or something. But then the one that everyone knows about and that's been running the comp before that there's more binning information on and stuff is the 3000G, and I have 2 or 3 of those. I think I had 3 and one was dead, so I have 2 of them. So that's what I'll be running. I just have to get a board because this board doesn't support like first gen and some of the weird APU SKUs. Okay, does that make any sense? I think that makes sense. What I just talked about. All right, so my rig. What do I? Oh, I wanted to. Oh, so first I'm going to talk about the RAM stick. So you guys might remember the 4600 Royals that I ran a lot. Well, one stick died, and quite a while ago actually, and I had difficulties putting through an RMA. Like, I would submit the RMA because G.Skill are kind of known for having a lifetime warranty, right? As long as you send back the entire kit. They don't want a single stick that's dead. They want the entire kit, which is fair enough. And at the point that I was trying to get this RMA'd, the form would just say, you know, check back in 72 hours, and then nothing would happen. There would be no email or anything. And I like resubmitted like 2 or 3 times, and it never worked. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this. This is just a waste of time. Let me just do this another time. And I sort of forgot about it for about a year, and now I tried again like 3 days ago, and it went through straight away. I got an RMA number straight away. But the funny thing is, I was in Taiwan 2 weeks ago, and I stayed in the Xinyi district of Taipei, and I walked past the G.Skill building, and that's actually what I ended up having to put on the parcel as the return address. I'm like, down $24 for no reason. I could have just physically handed it to them when I was there, but okay, better to get a replacement than not. Hopefully they have that same SKU. That was a good SKU. The like single rank 4600 Trident Royals, the silver ones. I can't talk highly enough about them. Like, I was able to get like 4933 going on them and stuff. C14, depending on IMC and all that. Oh, and one more thing. While I was in, I don't know if I might start talking about Taiwan later when I have the bench going, but one thing that I thought was kind of fun was I have a bag of goodies here, and it's Kingpin stuff. It's nothing. It's actually nothing exciting, but I just like the fact that I have like $400 worth of paste and probes here. Oh, look, a USB-C Ethernet adapter randomly that I took with me on holidays. So yeah, this was, I decided to put together a group buy for Aussie Ventures, and it ended up being not as big as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I picked these up in person from Vince. That's kind of fun. So there we go. 530G Kingpin paste tubes, syringes, and 3 of the new style pros. If any of you guys have experience with the, and I still have a working one here, I think, experience with the very stiff metallic kind of golden colored, coppery golden colored Kingpin probes, they work well and they read well, but they're a pain to put on your pod and stuff because they're so stiff. This is a good compromise. So I used to really like the EK probes when they're still being made, but they would break quite a lot. They had really good like flexibility, and they read well, but they broke. This is like a halfway house. It's like it's got that sort of stiff probe at the end from the previous Kingpin probes, but you can probably tell the level of flexibility is like reasonable. It's still probably more on the stiffer side for a probe, but it's, you know, it's reasonable. And I like the fact that it's yellow. I don't know why, just means you can spot it in the distance, I suppose. Yeah, so got 3 of those and 5 of these, and it was so cool. I think at the time, was it 2007? The video's been pulled from YouTube, or at least the original hosting of it. But if any of you remember 2007, the TV, the broadcast TV ad that aired during some sporting event, I think, or just in general aired on TV, with Vince, a very young, much younger looking Vince, and it was an Nvidia ad, and it was in the style of, was it the MasterCard ad at the time, where it listed off the cost of things, and then at the end it goes priceless. So it's like, oh, you know, 2 thermoprobes, $5. You know, Kingpin pot, $100 or whatever. 480, well, I think it was 8800 GTXs or something at the time. 48800 GTXs, $1,000 or whatever it was. And then, oh, LN2 truck on standby, $20,000. He just made up a number. And then the last entry, like the last part of the ad was breaking 3D Mark world records, priceless. That was the end of the ad. Come on, guys, surely you know this ad. I'm gonna have to play it now. I'll put it on mute. Let's mute this tab. NVIDIA Kingpin ad. I should find it. Shit. Yeah, hey, the priceless video. Okay, let's make sure it's. No, I can't full screen it. I can. You won't have any. I'm muting the sound. Do you remember this? Does anyone remember this? Am I going crazy? Let's start like this. Oh, it's only a 2. I thought it was a 4-way ad. Do you remember the MasterCard ad where it listed off the price, and then at the end it goes $25,000. At the end it goes having MasterCard by your side or something, priceless. Look at that 4:3 screen. Priceless. Okay, there you go. So does that make sense? So anyway, that's the first time I heard about Kingpin, and now I finally met him in person, and he was a cool guy. It was good. I got a tour of the studio. Yeah, I got to chat for a bit and picked up some gear. Yeah, so that was fun. All right. Let's pick out a benching OS so I can actually start benching. I'm sure to have an AM4 one in here somewhere. Z97, AM3. Oh, a Tiny 10. That'll do. If the sticker is right and it's actually still got Tiny 10 on it, then that will certainly do. I'll just have to remember the background. So yeah, I'm back. I haven't benched in like 3 weeks. Let's. Ooh, room cam is working, by the way. I fixed the dodgy HDMI port, or rather, I swapped the camera out for one without a dodgy HDMI port. Okay, so what do I do now? Hit the reset button, right? Okay. So what's even a good score? What's like? I have no idea what the meta is or anything with this. This score is gonna be like 6 years old. April 2018, yeah. Feels like an absolute eternity ago. Ryzen 2nd gen launch. Yurmu Splave. I wonder if Splave ever ended up doing anything. Yurmu Splave. What would Splave have 8 core? What 8 core would Splave have been like doing? Okay. Obviously this is not push to hardware. So first things first, let's get the background in place. I thought I had it in here already. TC 21, 22, 23. I've been doing this shit for far too long. I have like an archive of every TC wallpaper except the one that I need. Man, can't make this shit up. TC. Oh, and I'm getting LN2 tomorrow. Maybe LN2 stream next week, who knows? So I'm trying to remember what these chips do on ambient. I know first gen basically didn't even do 4G, but I'm feeling like for something pretty light like GPU Pi, this might do around 4. Not much higher than that. Ooh, look at that wallpaper. I'll have to get used to it. I don't know. It takes a while to get used to this stuff. By the time you've done 2 months of TC benching, you're pretty much used to it. What if people subbed? Ooh, WEG have cold scores already. Well, a single cold score. So salty, I'm gonna just shamelessly copy salty for now. Who the hell is Team Spartan? What the fuck? GOY 86 is on Team Spartan. Oh, 4.3 on air on water. Oh yeah, let's look up who's in. Have they just been renamed? Like it used to be like Team Italy, whatever they were called. Team Spartan. Yeah, Ale, Glory. How do I get into the team again? Oh, back and then click on here. Ale, it's basically just an Ale. No offense to anyone else, but it's just an Ale team basically. Someone was brave enough to sub a 1200. I like his style. Like the absolute slowest chip barring 2 cores. Okay, so OpenCL 3, 4 M512. Okay, let's copy that. Okay, even though that threw an error, it seems to work, so that's all good. Okay. I do have other installers. Somewhere. Well, maybe not in here. This thing never worked anyway. Okay, let me go through that pane in the OC software channel in Discord. If I can remember where in Discord it is. Okay, pinned. Yeah, Sebi linked something there, so let's try that. Yeah, that's a quick download. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, weird that it's registered twice, but I don't really care. It should be fine. Ugh. Okay, so it is an OS issue. I have another GPU Pi OS here. No, it's for the OCF, so yeah, probably not ideal. Oh, okay, 20. So there's a Win 10, a more conventional Win 10 here. Hey, Sebi. How's TC going for you so far? Too many drives. Try and get 320. 320 is really, really hard. And card is critical. So you got I mean, you'd have a chip that does it, but do you have a card that does it? Like what clocks are you getting in nature cold on the card? Okay, well, this is going to be a slightly different look, but it's okay. We just need to change the background. Okay, bench height is here. Yeah, 980s are hard to run, and they also like to die. What did we say? 4M512. Okay, we have a run. This will be really slow because I don't even know what clocks I have, but let's just get a baseline. Super important to get baselines, guys. Okay, it's not going to take forever. Yeah, so while that's running, ooh, interesting. What? So Salty doing 3600 RAM. I wonder if with the new, because we're running like back in the day when this chip came out, we were running like different OpenCLs depending on whether it's 100M or 1B. It was like, from memory, I think it was AMD OpenCL, like the version 1.2, one of those for 100M, and for 1B we were running Intel on AMD, whatever the latest was at the time. But now that we're so many iterations later, I wonder if it's starting to scale with RAM a lot more. Vectorizer off, and no other tweaks, no other visible tweaks at least. Interesting. So 1 minute 22. Well, yeah. Second gen doesn't. I mean, it's incorrect to say that it doesn't have FCLK, but FCLK is locked 1:1 to RAM. And we never, back in the day, we never saw like, I don't know, never say never, I suppose, but we never really saw FCLK scaling on this platform, but who knows? For GPU Pi though, I don't know, it'll take some testing. This platform is just old enough for me to really feel like I can't recall much, which is worrying. Third gen I never, first gen I remember so fondly because it was the first gen I ever benched cold. I mean, the very first thing that I benched cold was Haswell, but the first thing that I seriously benched cold over multiple sessions was first gen Ryzen. So I remember more of that than second gen. Third gen I skipped at launch, and then that did quite a bit of subsequently, which means that that's fresher in my mind as well. But second gen is literally just like whatever I remember from 6 years ago is what I remember. I should probably go to the new CPZ. I don't know if it's even required. I haven't looked at the rules, but I should go to the 2.10. And it's not on the thumb drive. But the thing is, like, how would you do a test to isolate the effect of FCLK? You can't, because you're always moving memory along with it. So, like, what's memory scaling and what's FCLK scaling? It's like, imagine an Intel chip that has, it's not the exact same thing, but imagine an Intel chip that has uncore locked to memory. Like how would you ever know when you're increasing that multi whether it's memory or uncore that's scaling? It would take quite a lot of testing, and I don't even really know how you would pull that off. Come on, I downloaded this shit. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of sad state of affairs when like a local search on your downloads folder pretty much takes the same amount of time as it would have taken to just download it, because Windows search is so shit. Yeah, okay, but I mean, the effects of core clock are the most studied effects of anything. That's different. It's very different. Whereas if you're comparing like a major clock versus like if a minor clock is locked to a major clock, it's a reasonable assumption to believe that when you do get scaling, it's from the major clock. But when two minor clocks are locked together, like how do you distinguish them? It's a totally different thing. Okay. Ooh, I'm at 3G. Okay, well that explains a lot. uh, yeah, my run is really fast actually for 3G. Okay, so we need CPU, memory, and the other one, mainboard tabs. And I'm gonna start off with fuck off. I'll start off with taking screenshots so I can actually quickly compare and don't have to load up a data file just to see what happened to M44S. And now we'll do I mean, let's just go straight to 4G and see what happens. Oh, it's locked in a lower power state for some fucking reason. Okay. All right. Let's see if that passes. Allowing cache, like, what was it? So Sandy Bridge had cache lock to core. Ivy Bridge may or may not have had cache lock to core, but basically the point I'm trying to make is either at Ivy or at Haswell they created a separate cache multi purely because of the fact that they saw with their new architecture the cache couldn't keep up with the core anymore, and it's dumb to keep it locked then. So like the motivations, you never want to introduce a clock for no reason, right? Like if cache can always keep up in clock with core, just keep it locked to core. Because also the benefits of, I mean, on like Haswell E and stuff, I've messed around with cache higher than core and stuff, and it just doesn't really do anything. So it's really only when you know that the cache is not going to be able to keep up that you unlock the you create a separate multiplier for it. Okay, so 4 seems to be passing. Yeah, so I was in Taiwan, so it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Did some hiking. It was really, really hot. I met Truth, Massman, Vince. There's a lot of people were out. A lot of people were not around. Like Elmore was in Sweden. Hey, Kif. KK. Can I just call you KK? Welcome back. We're doing some Team Cup pre-testing. Oh, and what I should mention is I don't remember this. I must have blocked it from my memory. But when my Unify X was still alive, I tried this particular chip. Even though for some reason it shows a really good vid, it shows 1.26 vid or something. But I tried it on both the B550 Unify X and this board cold, and it didn't clock very well. So this is not the chip in all likelihood that I'll be taking cold unless I get really desperate. Like, so I bought some other ones from AliExpress. They're like 75 Aussie dollars each. So I bought 3 from AliExpress from the same seller. So I'll have 4 to compare. So I'll bin them all off stream. Obviously, I'll bin them all using the same pace and cooling method, and then I'll take the best one ambient. Unless it has a really wacky vid and I don't trust the ambient result, I'll take the best ambient one cold for Team Cup. Any more hypothetical question? Yeah, good reminder. Yes, I should get back to that because the poll did actually finish. So from 244 Ooh, the scaling is really like shallow. Look at that. So we had 244 at 3. I wonder if 3G was like fake because the 37 multi was set, but CPU Z was showing 3G. I wonder if we're comparing 3.7 versus 4 here, because to only make up 12 seconds out of 2 minutes 44 with a gigahertz just doesn't make any sense. But let's just keep going until we get a crash, and then we can up the vCore a bit. Yeah, just the basic stuff. I don't want to do that. 2 minutes 32. I'll do 100. I'll save this just because I'm a really lazy bastard. I'll do 100 megahertz steps. Try that. Yeah, so Sebi, the summer really popped off when I was there. So like, um, maybe even 2 weeks before I was there was still like bearable. When I was there, it was like, I mean, not as per, it wasn't 100 degrees as per the weather report, but heat index, it was 100 degrees every single damn day, like over even 105. Like it was just crazy. Okay, so that's passing. So that sort of limited a little bit what I could do, but I did a lot of the touristy stuff. I went up Taipei 101, did a bit of hiking. I went up the gondola to the tea plantations. I can't remember what that place is called, but there's one gondola. There's it's like a 45-minute cable. They call it a gondola, but it's actually a cable car. It's interchangeable. Like gondola is a bit of a confusing term because gondola also means the boat in Venice. So I prefer cable car. That's a little bit less ambiguous, but you know what I mean. The thing that there's like these towers, and then there's cables suspended in between them, and then a car hanging down from it and moving along, being pulled along the cable. I went up that. That was really cool, and like everything's so cheap in Taiwan. Like, a 45-minute cable car ride was like $3 or something. And then I took the bus down, and the bus was funny because it was all full of like old ladies who didn't want to, probably were afraid of the heights or something. And like I took the cable car for the sake of taking the cable car. I didn't actually want to do anything there. Like there's just restaurants and stuff there. There's nothing interesting there. So I just like pretty much immediately took the next bus down. But the bus I took was like full of all these old ladies who obviously like are like old and frail and like afraid of heights or whatever, and actually didn't want to take the cable car but wanted to go to the place that the cable car went to. So we had opposite motivations. I purely went on the cable car for the sake of going on the cable car. They purely went to the terminus of the cable car for the sake of being in that area, and they must have taken the bus both ways, but I just took the bus downhill. It's like at elevation, and the bus was like, let me try to remember how much the bus cost. So the cable car was like the expensive option. That was 100 new Taiwanese dollars. So like 4 Aussie dollars, 3 American approximately. And the bus was, I think, 29. It was like less than $1 for like a fucking half an hour bus. Stuff is too cheap over there. Overeat. Yeah. But I like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like um when stuff is so cheap, you're like, you give it, you sort of, it's easier to give yourself the freedom. Okay, so that was only 4 seconds faster. So the previous run was definitely 3.7 because we're getting a gain of 4 seconds per 100 megahertz, and there's a 300 megahertz gap between 3.7 and 4, and the score difference was 12. So that lines up. Okay, easy. Okay, so no super wonky score scaling going on yet. I'll actually save this data file. Just yeah, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. So let's just be super paranoid about this and check that it's actually saved. $148. Okay, so that will be the file. I'll just put it on the desktop. If all goes pear-shaped from here, I'll just have like a placeholder score to put up. And I'll just keep saving the Turbo V profile. This is getting up there. I'm starting to think this is like between 4.2 and 4.3. Yeah, that's kind of starting to get to the place where you would expect a crash and like the end of things. Yeah, when stuff is cheap, like on the first day after our morning hike, I went to breakfast with Truth Man, and we had like a traditional Taiwanese breakfast. And it was like same thing. It was like $3 between two people. It was two delicious iced teas, like flavored iced teas, and crepe and pancakes, like savory pancakes and dumplings and stuff. It was like a table full of food. It was like $3 between two people. It was just insane. Yeah, highly recommend. I almost don't want to talk about Taiwan because I feel like it's so nice of a place to visit. I want to keep it to myself. Like I don't want to tell anyone how good it is in case it becomes this tourist hotspot and gets ruined like so many other places. Like I feel like Taiwan now is like what Thailand might have been 40 years ago and Vietnam might have been like 20 to 30 years ago. Like that's how good it is, you know? Anyway, free win. Wine, you mean? Free win. I mean, free win sounds good as well. Whatever win is. Nice. Yeah, they're so friendly in Taiwan. Yeah. So, what else did I do? Took the train, of course, because I'm a train enthusiast. You have to take the high-speed rail. Yeah, I want to go back. It was fun. On the way back, I went to Tokyo as well, which I don't rate anywhere nearly as highly as Taiwan, but it was still a solid place to go visit for a few days. Also really hot and humid. Oh, and I got locked in my hotel room. Everything in Japan is over engineered, so my hotel room door. Can I? I think I took a picture of it. Just for the sake of posterity, let me share the picture. Where is it? Okay, here we go. I'll like. Will I zoom in? Doesn't matter. You should be able to get the gist of it. Okay, how am I gonna share it in the chat? Modern technology, it's hard. What if I get a link from my folder? Yeah, it's still loading. I don't think it's uploaded yet from my phone. Weird, my phone is on the Wi-Fi. How is it taking this long to upload one like measly? Oh, here we go. So if I open this in a new tab, is that link shareable? My God. Come on, clipboard work. Damn it. Fuck it. Let me put it. Let me just... Do I even have Discord on my streamer? Yeah, I do. Am I logged in? That's going to be the next question. Oh, it's got to download a billion updates. Okay, this is going to be the most random story, but I think by now, after 7 years of streaming, I'm known to have a lot of random stories, so shouldn't catch you by surprise. Come on, update Discord, please. That's the only thing about Discord. It's always so heavy on these updates. Like, it's not. I mean, I'm sure there are features of Discord that I don't use, so I don't appreciate like the complexity of it. But yeah, it just seems bizarre that such a light, like, it's just a chat program, you know, chat and voice. Yay, it launched. And all I'm going to do is go into my Discord and copy the URL or copy the image and then open that in a browser. Like, it's so convoluted, but you know, open in browser, yay. So this was the inside of after all that. So much prep work for so little payoff, but you know, I'm known for that now. So this was the inside of my hotel room door. Yeah, so 3 knobs and a latch. Okay, so setting the scene, right? It was one of these fancy. It wasn't a capsule hotel, but it was a hotel that, like, was a bit trendy and it was trying to do things differently. So there was no key whatsoever. You got a piece of paper with a Wi-Fi password on it and the code to punch into the keypad on the outside. And the keypad is what activated this. Oh, you can't see my mouse pointer, can you? Okay, just imagine a mouse pointer. It activated the top black latch, like the top black lock would, like, it would like beep and go, and then maybe like 5 seconds later it would actually unlatch, and then you could push. What was it, a push or a pull? You could pull the door outwards and it would open up. But then the other 3 locks were purely mechanical, right? So I mean, not to say that mechanical locks can't fail, but the chances are probably, if you've got 4 locks and 1 is electronic and 3 are mechanical, if you have problems opening your door, it's more than likely going to be the electronic one. So anyway, I kind of progressively had more and more difficulties unlocking my door, both from the outside and the inside. But I was sort of like, it's just, you know, it's like the lock is a little bit bent or whatever. If I just force it a bit more, it's fine. And but mostly from the inside, actually. And I had never actually latched any of these 3. Like, if you think about it, right? Like, if the only thing you ever interact with is the top lock, the bottom 3 aren't going to magically lock themselves, right? It's mechanical. Like, unless a ghost came into your room and turned it, like, the problem is going to be with the top lock. But anyway, one morning I get up and I want to get out of my room and the door doesn't open. Now, worth pointing out that the top lock auto locks after 5 minutes or something. So let's say you leave the room and you're in a rush and you don't actually press the lock button, it will just lock itself anyway after 5 minutes. So what you have to do in the morning is just push the black latch from the right position to the left position, and that's all you have to do, right? Like, if that doesn't unlock the door, there is some failure somewhere. I did that, doesn't open. Try to push harder, still doesn't open. Some cleaning lady or someone is on the outside and is like, hey, what are you trying to do? I'm like, I would like to leave my room, please. That's the normal thing someone does in a hotel. Like, that's literally the most important function in a room, besides maybe the fire alarm working or whatever. Like, that's really important, right? Like, running water, being able to get it out of your room, electricity. Those are the 3 most important things. And she's like, oh, did you try turning such and such? And I'm like, I haven't touched the other 3 locks. I appreciate you trying to troubleshoot this whole situation, but the reason the door isn't opening is because it's broken, not because I'm stupid. You know, like, I gladly change the position on the other 3 locks just to satisfy your sense of curiosity and process of elimination. But I'm telling you, it's the top lock. And then she's like, "Oh, can I try opening it? Is that okay?" It's like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, break down the door, get your fucking hatchet out. I don't care. It's not my door. Just fucking open it somehow. And she, like, it takes like so long. She attempts so many times, and then eventually just walks off. I couldn't tell because there was like a door between us, but apparently she just kind of walked off. So I had to like message the hotel saying, "Hey, is there still someone looking at fixing my door, room 803? Like, I'd like to get out, please. I'm not claustrophobic or anything, but you know, the reason I'm in Tokyo is to spend time outside of my hotel room." Uh, and I sent someone else up, and that person also can't do anything. And they're still sort of half accusing me having done something wrong. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. That's totally in my interest. I'm a tourist in Tokyo, and I want to get out of my hotel room. But to make life difficult for the hotel employees, I've sabotaged the lock on purpose. Yeah, that's really what I'm going to do. But yeah, they eventually, like, they sort of like they use the master key or the master code or whatever to lock it and unlock it like 5 different times, or even more, like 10, 15 different times. I'm just inside like packing and stuff, like trying to make useful use of the time. And eventually the door opens, and I'm like, thank you for that. Um, we sort of look at the inspect the lock, and I'm like, that's rusty. That looks bad. Um, can you get someone to look at it? I'm going to be in the city for the next 3 hours. Can you get someone to look at it? This is going to happen again, kind of thing. And I go out and I go to a baseball game. I go shopping. I do whatever. I go have dinner, and I come back, and there's no like note left or anything. There's no email. There's nothing to say that they've put any effort into resolving this issue. Well, it's late at night, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm checking out tomorrow. Um, And during all this, like, the funny thing is like there was a balcony and there was like an escape hatch in the balcony, and I was got so close to telling them, "Hey, I'm just popping the escape hatch. Fuck all you. I just want to get out of here. You can fix the door while I'm gone." But I didn't. I was being polite. And then, sure enough, the next morning, I'm trying to just go out and have a coffee for breakfast, like just a morning coffee, just to set my day on the right like track. And the door again doesn't open. Such a waste of time. Like, I don't even know what. I don't think that whole story even really had a point. Sorry to like to sort of just ramble on for no reason. But the thing is, like, the hotel was nice, but it's like, the typical 5 star um was hilarious. Okay, someone found it hilarious. That's good. The the typical 5 star rating system that like hotel and booking websites and stuff have now, and Google Maps and all that, it's like, it's so hard to give a rating because I was really pissed off. This was really unnecessary, but at the same time everything else was fine. So it's like, is that a 4 star? Like, if I was being really truthful, like, I'd probably give it a 3 star, but nowadays that's considered a really bad rating. You may as well give it 1 star at that point, you know. And then the next morning, I just wonder how that whole situation continued, because the next morning it was again locked, and I again messaged them in the same email thread saying, "Hey, the same thing is happening again. Guess what?" And they came up, and it was a different employee, and somehow they were able to like get it open in 2 tries, which was great. And I'm like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. What hotel chain? It's not a chain. And hi, Ginger, by the way. I'm checking out today anyway. I was in the middle of packing and stuff. I literally just put a shoe in the door and was like, I'm not closing this door again. I don't trust it. Because I basically woke up and immediately tried to open it because I knew that maybe there would be a process involved in leaving my fucking hotel room. And the girl was really apologetic. And I'm like, look, I don't care. I'm checking out today. I'll just put a shoe in the doorway. It's fine. But please, I was like pleading with her. I was like, please get someone to look at this before the next person checks in and has the same fucking problem. It's such a waste of time. Okay, let's do 50 megahertz steps now. Smooth transition, I know. Yeah, it was just an odd situation. Like, I just don't. I'm sort of a Luddite. I don't like over engineered things. Like, no one. Like, there's security cameras everywhere, right? Like, no one, you don't even really have to lock your hotel room. There's cameras everywhere. Everything's tracked. You could have like a hairpin for the to use as a door key. Like it just has to work 100% of the time. All this fancy shit of, oh, you've got a instead of a key you've got a code. Like fuck all that shit. That's just so fucking stupid. There's my Tokyo rant out of the way. 3 knobs and a latch. Yeah, it does sound like the start of a dirty joke. So random. And I could sort of, you don't want to be like too annoying and start complaining about stuff too early when there's not really a problem yet. But I could just sense, I could just feel in my gut when I had slight problems opening the door early on. I'm like, this is not going away. This is, if anything, it's either going to stay this bad or it's going to get worse. And at some point, I'm not going to be able to get out at all. And I just hate that, like, call center script approach of, did you try turning the other locks? And it's like, of course there are only 4 locks. I have tried all, there's 2 positions and 4 locks. Someone worked that out. Isn't that like 4 factorial number of positions or something? I've tried all positions. It didn't open. It's not my fault. It's not user error. It's door error. Locks only keep honest thieves away. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, if someone really wanted to rob me, like, the way to do it would be, there's so many different ways. It's not even worth talking about. Like, it's all security theater, you know. It's not, none of this stuff really works. It's only when you get like quite high end, like a bank vault works in a lot of situations. Like you kind of need like dynamite or something to really get in there. Like the really high end stuff works, you know, like a barbed wire fence with automatic machine guns and you know, whatever, like cameras, CCTV, 24-hour CCTV, that works. But a fucking lock doesn't work, whether it's a fancy one or a non-fancy one. They're both just like minimal security. Okay, well, we're getting places here. So this is 4.25. Let's take a cap as well. So 2 minutes 23. And we need to use this. Onwards and upwards, as they say. How's your aim for benching going, Ginger, by the way? Is this going to be a situation where like whatever you can set, you can also run? It's starting to kind of feel like that. Okay, it's running. Honest thieves, isn't that some sort of oxymoron? Honest thieves. I mean, Cary Grant in oh, God, what's the movie called? I'm embarrassed now. To Catch a Thief. It's called To Catch a Thief. So Cary Grant in the 1950s movie To Catch a Thief is an honest thief, but he's a fictional character, right? So that doesn't really count for much. You could say the characters in Thomas Crown Affair are kind of honest thieves in a way, maybe. Oh, you've had kids over. Okay, that's fair enough. Get the kids to help you bench. Put one on memory clocking, another one on I don't know, watching the AIO or something. Make sure it doesn't have any leaks. Okay, so 4.3 is going play. Okay, so let's actually, I can't say that I'm getting excited here, but let's compare to Ooh, Nox put up a pipe prime. Nice. 22nd on phase. What gear 1 was he able to do? I think he was struggling a bit with the single rank. Ooh, 26. Oh, so he went the CAS 13 route, but 2066 gear 1 is pretty decent. Okay, so let's do a search. GPU Pi 1B, AM4. That'll do. Whatever. We'll work through it. Okay, so this is obviously all cold and 5th gen. Just scroll through. 5th gen. Ooh, six core 5th gen beats 8 core 2nd gen. Can't say I'm surprised. Where's the first 2nd gen chip? Ooh, 1800X. Where were all the 2700s? Let's filter it down to. Okay, let's just go water custom. I don't know. I know that's. I wish there was a drop down selection for all ambient, but let's just go for that. Wow, weird how. So 2nd gen does higher clocks, but weird how like 1st gen is beating 2nd gen on ambient. So let's say Bilco score. What V core is he running? Uh, 1.5. Yeah, I don't think I have. I think with the paste on here, I'll struggle with that. 1.45 maybe is possible. Yeah, vectorizer disabled, maybe. Yeah, so 50 megahertz was only giving me like 1.5 seconds. And do a cap. 2M21. Still running. Oh, so in terms of recent purchases, I do have one kind of cool thing to show. So I've owned multiple Crosshair 4s and 5s, both Formula. So for the 4, I've owned multiple Extremes and one Formula. For the 5, I've owned one non-Z and 2 or 3 Zs. And then obviously I've owned Crosshair 6 Hero, 7 Hero, and 8 Hero. But I've never owned anything as old as this in terms of crosshairs. So the 1 and the 2 are just historical artifacts. They're not really benching relevant, but the 3, which is what this is benching relevant. It's actually got good 32M efficiency. Was it Tapica or someone like that? Tapica or Tag? Tapica, I think, said that it had really good 32M efficiency. So I splashed out a bit and bought one from the US, and yeah, hopefully I can knock out like a 965 Black Edition improved score with it. My current one I'm certainly not proud of. I have a lot of good chips, I just haven't knocked out a good 32M on that chip. Processors. What the hell? Of course, always gotta re-log in because of security, because someone's gonna hack our accounts, right? So you can probably already tell. So it's 10 seconds slow. Around 10 seconds slow. But there are reasons for that. So that's a really strong core chip. This is like a good 1M chip, but it's really bad in terms of IMC. But even so, lots of room for improvement. Yeah, see, like under 900 on the RAM, under 4.5 on the Encore. That's pretty brutal. Even so, I need, and that's not a good OS. I need to improve. So Crosshair 3 will be interesting. So we've broken the 2 minutes 20, which is good. No. $70 core temp. That's interesting because that means we have a bit of thermal headroom. 2 minutes 19. Six-digit password. Yeah. If anyone ever subbed on my Harrobot account, that wasn't me. They'd be found out immediately because the start menu wouldn't be on the left. Might be a good time to get another beer. I'll leave it on this cam. Why not? It's fun. I'm back. What did I miss? More loops of GPU Pi is what I missed. Somehow, even with 3 rigs running in this room, it's not as warm as I expected it to be at this point in the stream. I'm gonna put on a hoodie. Yeah, so in terms of streams, now that I'm back from my trips, I'm gonna aim for once a week again, maybe even some weeks too, just depends. And the tentative plan for the next joint stream with Tech Tested is Friday night, US Eastern Time, Saturday morning, early morning, Aussie time. Because the end of the month is coming up again. Okay, so 50 megahertz hardly even gets 1 second anymore. But I mean, as long as this chip keeps scaling, let's keep going up. Save results, 70 degrees again. I mean, I doubt what, like on air 4.5 at 1.4 seems like pretty fanciful. So I have a feeling it's either going to crash here or at the next step. What do I know? I don't remember anything about this gen. Cheers. So in my weird life, this is actually Friday night, even though it's Sunday night. So for everyone else, it's the exact opposite. Everyone else is like, oh God, I got to go to work tomorrow. I just worked all weekend and I'm getting 2 days off now to compensate. So my weekend is Monday, Tuesday, which it's just the weirdest thing ever. Like I can't think of, for some reason, oh, bingo. Most of the time, my weekend when I work on Saturday, Sunday, my weekend ends up being Wednesday, Thursday, which kind of makes sense to me. Like a weekend in the middle of the week, like that's, I'm just sort of used to that now. But having your weekend on Monday, Tuesday is just all kinds of fucked up. I don't know how I feel about it. Is it stuck on a postcode? Yeah, it's sort of pulsing. It's pulsing 00. Yeah, let's give it a hard reset. Not so hard of a reset actually. It's more of a soft reset, but you know. Hey Rachel. Who's Rachel? I don't get the reference. Rachel from Friends or something? Oh, shit. Okay. So it is booting. Oh, okay. Yes, Rachel, Nevada. It's a town. Look it up. It was on X-Files. It's famous. Okay, so load up our last profile, but give it like even 25 millivolts. Let's be really stingy and see if 25 millivolts does it. So last run was this one. Let's start showing some of these away. I don't want all of them here. So 4.4 was the last one. So let's give it 25 millivolts and yeah, let's try 4.45 again. It wasn't an immediate fail, right? So maybe we just need a little bit more VCore. So how many of you guys in the chat have already bought a 12600 HX to farm those quad core points. May as well go through another sub comp actually. Let's go to through the other 2D sub comp. Intel. Xeon's only LGA 1366. I just gave away all my Xeons to a fellow bencher in Australia, so totally out of that. Could be fun though. Xeons are kind of underbenched. PyFast 1156. That's interesting. I see how I go with that. I have a ton of 1156 chips to would help to actually show the browser window, right? I have a ton of 1156 chips to bin. I don't know if they're the exact right SKU though. And I have the UD2, the H55 UD2H board, which is famous for being like good for B clock. I have 2 or 3 copies of that, and I have a UD5, like a full-size ATX. That other one is MATX. So I kind of have all the ingredients, but am I really going to be fucked? Like, do I really want to invest the time that this is going to take? Who knows? DDR4i5. I think I still have an 11600 KF or something, so maybe I'll just put in a low effort score on that. But I'm not the biggest fan of Cinebench R20 to begin with, so yeah, low enthusiasm for that one. 12th Gen non-K. I sold my non-K chip to round the OC, and anyway it was only a 4-core, whereas I assume the meta here is like the weird shit like 12900 non-Ks and all that. I'd imagine that's what is meant by this this stage. Okay, so we've got a 1216. I'm always rounded up. This is a 1217. Well, let's call it a 1216. Let's be generous. Let's round down instead of up. Okay, so the 25 millivolts did help, which is nice. For posterity, let's make one of these. 2M16. So let's save that profile and see if we can squeeze another 50. This is getting into the dodgy territory though. Only 6-core and less are relevant. Because it's Alder Lake S. Okay, I missed that. Fair enough. What if the Wager is subbed here already? I'm curious. Exa on a 12100F. Okay, predictably that crashed. It's pulsing 00 again? That's okay. We can give it 25 millivolts per 50 for quite a while before we run into terminal issues actually, so it's all good. Come on, give me display out. There you go. Finally listen to me. I constantly talk to my rig, but most of the time it doesn't listen, so I'm glad I did this time around. Okay, I gave it another 25 millivolts. Okay, time for the next subcomp then. Yeah, so Intel maybe one stage I'm subbing, 1 to 2, but pretty low effort. Okay, so the X1000 series, that's where I have a relevant card, so I'm gonna go relatively hard there. I mean, I'm not a legacy 3D wizard by any stretch of the imagination, and also being limited to DDR3 is kind of a turn off because I don't have a Skylake DDR3 board, so I'll have to get my like Devil's Canyon or Haswell out. Okay, that didn't help. Let's go 25 megahertz steps. So yeah, if this was an actual Sunday for me, I probably wouldn't be streaming. I'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta go to work tomorrow. But it's quite the opposite. It's a Friday. A mental Friday is what I like to call it. Okay. Okay, so what's our play now? Our play is we apply the exact same thing, but with 25 megahertz knocked off. So we give it the 1.45 again. We go 4475. So now the 216 was 445, right? I keep re-looking at what? Yeah, 145. Yeah. Come on, pass this time. Oh, someone's pasting YouTube clips. Hopefully, safe for work. It's just a Simpsons clip. Okay, well, that's good. Lazy Saturdays. Has this gone further now? I forget. I think it's always around the batch 4 to 6 mark where you get a black screen, right? Okay, so AMD GPU 05. Yes, I will be participating. Cypress Core. I keep forgetting what the Cypress Core is. Isn't that like 5750 or something like that? I think I'm out of this. Radeon RX. Polaris 21 and 20. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know what these cores are, so let's just look them up. So AMD Arctic Islands. Polaris 20 is just RX 5800 or 580. RX 580 or 5. Okay. That was a much later fail. So that would mean wow, there's such a thing as a 580 non-X. Never heard of that. Oh, hold on, what's the X? No, the X is the weird one. What the hell is an X? RX 580X. 2 subs. And then there's a 2048 SP. Oh, this I don't like this stage. This stage is gonna be cheese central. This will be like the Switzerland of of Team Cup stages. Okay, let's give it another 25 millivolts. Professional mobile version. Like, I wish we didn't have these kind of stages. Okay, let's give this a go, eh? You don't think it matters, but the funny thing is that the 480 is technically called Ellesmere. I would have hoped for a stage that just mixes the 480 to 580 and like 470 and 570, but like the way that it's titled now, it's limited to the 500 series for some bizarre reason. Okay, what are we gonna do next? Let's just attempt some light memory overclocking and see if that gives any gains. I think that's the end. So 445, no matter what the V-core is. It seems to be the end for this chip. I don't want to spend too much time binning it either because I need to go through 3 other chips, and I don't. The longer I make my binning process, the longer I make my binning process for the first chip, the more time I have to spend on the other chips to replicate that process. Okay, let's try that. I don't have a postcode cam today. Am I gonna regret it? Maybe. Yeah, it seems to be limited to the 500 series, unless I'm blind, because so the stage says Polaris 21 and Polaris 20, right? So now we're looking for Polaris 20 and 21. We see them down here, RX 570, 580, 560. But then if I go up to the non-refreshed, it's called Ellesmere, it's not called Polaris. Postcode camera, you're right. Yeah, well, riot then. What are you gonna do? Like a virtual riot? Oh, this is what memory instability looks like. Look at this. It's like a disco. Yeah, I'm not disputing the fact that in the real world, let's say, Ellesmere and Polaris are the same, but don't comps always go off of the definition in the HarborBot DB, and the way that it's defined in the HarborBot DB is one's different than the other. Oh, maybe we can give it more sock and stabilize it that way. Let's give it 50 millivolts more sock and see what happens. Oh, Ellesmere is also listed. I didn't see that. Ah, okay. All good then. False alarm. False alarm. Okay, so that is kind of a nice stage. So Skydiver. What do you need? Like Skydiver is gonna clock like insanely well. I hope some people really LN2 their Polaris cards because those are fun on LN2. I need to get my 480 fixed sometime. It's got a cap missing. GPU Pi 3.3 version 3.332B on what card? Single card. Okay. So that's gonna be 7. What's the latest card even called these days? 7950 XTX or some shit. It's gonna be all the top SKUs, right? Like it's gonna be like the top 7,000 SKU, the second from the top 7,000 SKU, and then the top 6,000 SKU, something like that. Okay, that did fuck all. So let's try this 3666. NVIDIA. I'll have very little involvement here. GeForce 400 series, no way. I don't like that series. 560, like this is a fun stage, but I just don't own any of these SKUs and have absolutely no interest in owning them. Times 700 series. Interesting. 3 subs, so 780 Ti, 780, 770, right? That's a fun stage. Advantage Extreme. All our dual card, but all out. Oh, dual core, single card. Okay. And Titans are banned as per the forum link, I think. So that's lucky. Okay, so now let's loop the previous clocks we got. Let's loop them and just do a few. Would I call them tweaks? Attempt a few tweaks. So it was this and that. So we do have the higher RAM. Okay, let's just see what happens. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Like trying to run a 590 through Vantage Extreme. Good luck with that. And last but not least, the MISC category. So the dogpile B clock stage. Okay, great, whatever. 32M LAN party. I would have liked more subs or more restrictive rules because I do have LAN parties for AM2 Plus and stuff, but they're gonna be too slow because people are just gonna run 1366 and 1156 LAN parties. What's up there right now, actually? 1 sub, great. Oh, and 775 is probably also faster in SuperPi than AM2 Plus / AM3. Single stage, what B clock did you get out of that? 560, yeah, okay, not bad. Okay, so that closed randomly. Let's just rerun. E-power it? E-power E-power what? Just anything, just in general? Okay, so let's go back to the comp. Pi Prime DDR234. So I'm kind of sad that 2 is 775. 590. Oh, tin style? I'm sure everyone knows these subs by now, right? It was like a dual. Was it a dual or a triple E-power? I'm trying to remember. I think it was 3 Mach 11. Or was it... Man, what bench was it? 10, here we go. Here it is in all its glory. Look at that, dual powered 590. Okay, so the random close somehow is not. Well, I mean, touch wood, but the random close is somehow not happening in the second run. Jank. Yeah, it is jank, but you know, overclocking is jank. It's not. It's not about style points or beauty. It's like whatever gets you higher clocks. Okay, so now reboot. Um, interesting. Maybe 3600 really is kind of the limit there. Oh, is it 0-0ing? It's 0-0ing. How am I hungry? Oh yeah. So the poll overwhelmingly was won by not needing to sleep. But yeah, I still think people don't fully appreciate all of the repercussions of everything there. But I'm obviously in the minority. It seems like. Yeah, but why am I hungry? I've had dinner. Why am I hungry? I had a pretty big dinner. Is it time for? It's not really midnight. It's like an old age pensioner's midnight snack at 8 p.m. But you can't. What else can you call it? What's the meal after dinner called? You can't really have supper and dinner in the same day, right? It doesn't make any sense. So you've got to call it a snack or like a midnight snack. Okay, dropping the RAM back down. That was like a total fail. And gonna just mess around with the vectorizer a little bit, that kind of thing. Anyone in chat planning to run this stage, by the way? Maybe. Tea suffer dinner. Those are just all words for the same thing, though, in my opinion. The really sick thing about this tin sub as well is you had to baby a 2600K because that's the platform that was out at the time. Like imagine minus 30ing the CPU on a 3D sub, and then you have two whole other cores to worry about. Just not fun. $800X isn't meta though. You need that 2700X Pro. I don't know what my batches were on. I weird. Let's just attempt the same thing again with 25 more millivolts. But I'm starting to think that the rig is telling me to shut down, basically. Come on. Yes, video out. Always nice to have that. That was a really, oh, excuse me, yeah, really late fail as well. Let's have a little look through TC subs so far. I haven't really paid attention yet at all. Comp entries. Spit to the 260, fair enough. On phase. 6.8 seems low for phase actually. I thought I was doing like 7. Maybe I'm imagining things. Max active in the 3 mark arena. That's good. Someone put up a excuse me, an 11.5. Yeah, a lot of just like placeholder scores. Ooh, league with the 200 B clock on a Maximus. What? On on Clarkdale, he was obviously prepping the 1156 stage and decided to also sub it as B clock. Ooh, I should get a valid. I should get a valid on this platform and sub it in the dog pile. I may as well. I mean, like, you know, what have I got to lose? That's funny. Okay, so here's his pie fast on Cascade. Oh no, air. Ooh, tech tested. Is that a cold sub? Oh, there we go. Matt's put up a 6.4. Ooh, okay. Is this Ukrainian sub? No, that's from another time. Sad that it's only a, what is it, a 30 point now. Okay, so my run's done. Let's compare. So we had a 16,930 and now we have an 887. Okay, let's save it. Alright, that's how I'm going to end the stream, is I'm going to do ballots on AM4. Before I forget, let's get a rig pick. This is going to be a rig pick good enough for 2 subs. Value for money is what I call that. Let's get the wrapper out. Boom. Okay. So that's done. So now let's get a valid. And I'll end the stream there. Let's try hard a little bit and use the 32-bit version because that's lighter, and enable XOC mode. And I guess I need screenshots, right? Let's check the rules. That'd be so embarrassing if I got the rules wrong and had 100 B clock subs pulled because of that. Legacy's allowed, server mobile is allowed, no picture required, only 1 CPU Z tab. I'll be nice and do 2 tabs because I'm a nice guy. Vinster just woke up. Welcome, welcome. Just binning a 2700X for the Team Cup GPU Pi Summit Ridge and Pinnacle Ridge only stage. Okay, let's get the valid to 100. Okay, now we're obviously dropping the CPU ratio. See how much we can do in OS. Probably not a whole pile. Oh yeah, surely one B clock is. Oh, we don't even have B clock control. Or maybe I need to relaunch. Sometimes there's a CPU Z bug where you need to relaunch. I mean, it did. It did on air. It's done 4.45 through GPU PI. That's not bad. What the hell? How is this? Weird. Let's try the Zeus tool. I thought there was a B clock function here somewhere. Maybe not. I mean, it's not really gonna matter, right? Okay, so it's under that. Okay, I'll see what I can boot anyway. So this is X570, so it doesn't do very much B clock anyway. But let's boot like 100.5 just for the fuck of it. I want to avoid the embarrassment of of a flat 100 B clock sub. No, the regular hero. Come on, time for a bit of display out. I'll boot it. We're going places with these valids. 300 next. Okay. Let's see if that weird Turbo V bug is gone. Now that we have a non-default B clock set. No, okay, totally screwed. Great. Let's try this. It's blanked out. Yeah, it's probably also related to the generation of chip you've got in there. I'll try to run as admin the next time I'm booted. On 5th gen, this board did almost no B clock. It did like 100.7. But who knows, maybe on 2nd gen everything's fine. See what happens at 101. No, I don't like that fan spin up. It's like it's gonna hang or something. I don't know. It's a post. Odd that it went into bias though. Oh, has it lost? No, it's not lost to SATA. But it's refusing to boot. Okay, what I'll do is I'll drop back to 100.5 and I'll see if I can get an OSB clock going. Yeah, X570 is notorious for not doing B clock very well. That's what makes this like memeable, you know. Oh, I should I should run off a reference frequency sub on my streamer. It's got a B550 board in it. It might do like 110 or something. I can't stream that though because you know I can't stream the rig I'm streaming on. I mean, not the way that I'm currently set up. I'm sure there's a way of doing it, but it's funny. Okay, I did it launch as admin. Why is this window ever always oversized? Yeah, okay, no dice. I feel like Turbo V should work though. Like I've had it work before. Yeah, okay. Yeah, your X3D chip is banned, true. Can't be fucked doing any subs because you're such a massive Team Cup participant anyway. All right, that'll do it. LN2 tomorrow. Shit, I gotta get my doers out for the delivery early in the morning. That's probably something worth doing. Yeah, streaming. I might stream like next weekend. You were gonna do one if I asked, but we're not even on the same teams. How can we collaborate for Team Cup? You're not on overclock.net. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. You know, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time.